too many things lately. You smiled at me and said, "Get me going," but does that mean okay. Oh. I did forget a couple of steps here of how I usually do this. So there was probably some echo there, I'm guessing. Hi, Artsy. How are you doing this evening? I cannot hear the audio through here like I normally do. Yeah, of course that's hooked up. The video is playing. Huh. And I can't hear... Oh, I see why. There we go. Now I can hear. I've never even heard of Ernest and Celestine, Artsy. What is that? I am just curious. And I'm going to turn my volume down, which shouldn't affect y'all at all. I don't think. Yeah, no, my audio's good. My audio's good. Okay. So, since last time we played, I grinded so that I could actually survive. How I made it to the exact same time stamp, I don't know, but I did. So this should be fun. Hey, girl dad, how's it going? Okay, that's a good screen to put this on while I'm going through my intros for, because I am trying something tonight. I don't know if it's going to work, but I'm trying it. As many of y'all know, you may have known, I used to do a side project podcast called Untangling Kingdom Hearts, and I stopped doing it because it was not as fun and it felt like more work than I intended it to be. So I kind of still wanted to come back. And this afternoon or this morning, whatever time of day it was when I was thinking about it, I got to thinking that this was about where I was coming back in tonight for the stream. This is about where I ended Untangling Kingdom Hearts. So this feels like the perfect time to, if I was going to bring it back, this would be a good time to do it, especially with the idea of just picking up where I left off. So yeah, I'm going to do that. Although I am going to edit in the audio for the, you know, the opening and closing later. And I'm kind of going to be playing this by ear, but yeah, I'm going to be starting and stopping to record that audio. So please bear with me. Anyway, so I saved. I don't think I can get anything here from Sid. I'm going to look. Yeah, I've got 878 money right now. I could get some of this stuff and it may help, but let's see how bad I die first when fighting actual enemies. So, Artsy Steph, if you're still there, how are you doing? Also, I believe it's Andy. How are you doing? Also, here's a fun little fact. Oh, hang on, I gotta aim this. So you can see the scale right now. It doesn't. It's still set to 0, right? I get up on the scale, and it actually weighs me. That's not something you see too often in an old PS2 game like this. That level of detail. But yeah, I just wanted to. I don't know. I think that's cool that they went to that much trouble. Also, there's a fan up here. And if I can hit it, I think I have to come from up here. Missed. Come on, hit the fan. I will hit the fan eventually. It's just a matter of timing. And I have apparently bad timing. Yeah, Huey, Dewey, and Louie are in here, by the way. We'll talk to them in a minute. There we go. And I got a postcard. Let's see. Welcome. Want to buy something or sell something? Let's chat. Our shop has all sorts of stuff for sale. Your Uncle Donald is here. Aren't you going to say anything to him? All right, I'll buy. What do we got? We got potions, high potions, ethers, tints, Morning Star, which is a weapon for Donald, and Warhammer, which is also a weapon for Donald. This one will increase his magic. This one will reduce his magic, but he can use it far heavier. Smasher is a small shield made for attacking or the defense, and stout shield, large shield that protects against various attacks. So yeah, I am going to go ahead and start upgrading their stuff because, let's face it, they're going to need it. So yeah, go ahead and get the stout shield, and the Morning Star, which is that's really all I want to spend that on for right now. Although, if I remember correctly, oh, I have 20 potions in stock. I'm good. Artsy Stuff says, OG triplets. Yeah. Nega says, yes, this game. Roy, close your eyes. It's going to be all right. So far, to my knowledge, Roy has not made it in yet. So, yeah. So I'm going to actually go ahead and do my first bit here. So let me hit record. Hello and welcome to another episode of The Cellcast Presents Untangling Kingdom Hearts. Today, eventually, we're going to get to Wonderland. That's a bit of a spoiler, but it's our first world at the very least. So yeah, I don't remember exactly where I left off with this series on Untangling Kingdom Hearts, bringing it back now. The way I'm doing this now is I'm literally playing the game and then stopping to talk about different aspects of it. So, here in Traverse Town, where you can probably hear where the music is, there's two shops. You got the accessory shop and you've got the item shop. The accessory shop is manned currently, if I can hit right buttons here, currently it's manned by Sid Highwind from Final Fantasy VII. He will eventually go move on to somewhere else. But there's a couple cool things in here, like if there's, well, for instance, there's this crystal here on the side. It says, "Attention customers, you can synthesize items," and I didn't read that fast enough. "Attention customers, you can synthesize items like this one on our second floor, Kupo." So it's obviously Moogles. And Sora then says, "Wow, a crystal." And then you got, there's a safe spot in here. And so, yeah, and pretty much what you can buy here are just things like, it'll come up, Protect Chain, Fire Chain, Blizzard Ring, Thunder Ring, you know, just different stuff to help you increase your, what's the word I'm looking for? Your stats. I did not end up buying anything here simply because I knew I needed the weapons for Donald and Goofy more than what I needed those for. And I didn't have a whole ton of money left. But here in the item shop, which is manned by Huey, Dewey, and Louie, which depending on when you come back to the game, these three will have switched places. Right now, I believe this is Huey that is manning the shop, but I believe later Dewey will do it, and so will Louie. But here I went and bought the Morning Star for Donald, which is a staff that heightens magic power, can also be used as a weapon, and I bought the Stout Shield for Goofy. I don't know if that's exactly the best way to go about this, because it has been a while since I played the game, but and for this playthrough, I'm playing on Proud mode, so I'm trying to give myself the best amount of defense as I can. So yeah. Okay, and I'm gonna stop there for now. Artsy says, "It's funny, I never even remember seeing any Moogles." I will come back to the Moogles when on my second visit here to Traverse Town. I think there are some running around out there, but it's not worth going after at the moment. And Artsy says, "Oh, gotta go talk to Nana. Hopefully see y'all later." All right, well, hopefully we will see you later, Artsy Steph. Thank you for joining me, even if it was just for a couple minutes. Oh yeah, there's a there's a Moogle right now. Hi, Mr. Moogle. There's this ladder outside the second district Gizmo shop, Kupo. Ah, the view. It's so beautiful, Kupo. So I'll go ahead and touch on this. That crystal that we talked about, it was obviously made by Moogles based on the note that was on there. For the most part, there's not a lot of Moogles running around Traverse Town right now. Moogles, of course, being one of the mascots of the Final Fantasy franchise, but they also make a pretty decent impact in Kingdom Hearts, considering a lot of times they are the save points, and in some cases, in many games, they're the primary owners of the item shops that you buy equipment from. So there is at least one running around the first district of Traverse Town, right outside the main gate. And he tells you that there's a ladder outside the second district's Gizmo shop, Kupo. Ah, the view. It's so beautiful, Kupo. Moogles in this game are primarily manning the synthesis shop, which will not unlock until our second visit to Traverse Town. So we'll come back to that. All right. So far, this is working. I forgot, I gotta get these Trinity marks while I'm here. And there's more money! Lots of money! Lots of money! I think there's another one over here. Yeah. Let me move. Okay. Another postcard. So I don't know if I've touched on it yet or not, because like I said, it has been a bit since I recorded this show. But scattered around the different worlds on the floors, and in some cases on the walls, depending on it, are these symbols that they're kind of tiny to see, but they are there. But it's 3 hearts with a circle going around them, and these are called Trinity marks. At this stage of the game, only the blue ones can we actually use so far. We'll unlock the ability to use the other 4 later. But here, at least in the first district of Traverse Town, there is one that gives you a lot of money, and then there's another one that lets you get up to the 2nd floor of this building out here, and you can get a postcard. The postcards, I don't know if I've talked about them or not yet, but if you get all 10 postcards that are scattered around Traverse Town, you get different items when you drop them in the little mailbox. So that's definitely something to keep in mind. I believe getting all 10 does get you a super rare item that's used in the synthesis, but yeah. Okay. And I am going to go ahead and drop these postcards off here that I already have. Sent the first one, I got a cottage. And sent the second one, I got a mithril shard. And that's all I've gotten so far. Neko says, I see. So it's like you're the tour guide for the video game, explaining the plot and so far what's around, such as places, people, and objects to interact. Kind of, that's the ideal. My idea really is to it's kind of meant to be a retrospective and analysis of the Kingdom Hearts franchise, is what this original idea was. But I ended up stopping, not right before this part starts, or somewhere around here, simply because my work schedule got busy, which my work schedule hasn't cleaned up. But doing it by myself with the busyness of the work schedule and not feeling like anyone cared to a degree, just kind of drug on me a bit. At least playing this, doing it as part of a game stream, I can have people interact with me in the chat room. So, I mean, at least I don't feel like I'm alone doing this. And admittedly, if somebody in the chat does ask a question that makes sense to bring up, something I haven't thought about, I will answer it. So, anyway. So now we are finally going to head on to towards our first Disney World. The green cursor shows your current position. Select your destination with the cursor. Observe the battle level when selecting destinations. More stars means stronger Heartless in that world. All right. I gotta touch on these. So, when you're ready to leave Traverse Town, all you got to do is either go back into the accessory shop and use the save spot to jump out of town, or just go out the big door at the edge of the First District Plaza there, and it will take you to your World Select screen. The World Select in this game, though, you don't just automatically transport to the next world. You take what is known as the Gummy Ship. And this is going to end up being kind of like a Star Fox-esque type of sequence where you travel between, from one world to the other, and you try to take out different Heartless ships. And this is the first real mini game that the game has. Kingdom Hearts has a ton of these little mini games that are available for play. But without checking the world, there's 2 options you can check here. There's the Gummy Ship mission, which pretty much tells you what you got to do in order to succeed at the actual thing, which for the most part, for the first Gummy mission, is simply get to the next world, or survive to the next world, basically. That's pretty much what you have to do there. The other thing you can do is go into the Gummy Garage, where you can actually build a gummy ship. And I am proud to say that I was correct, that earlier, if you win the race with Riku back in Destiny Islands, that your name that you chose ends up being the ship for the gummy ship. Those who are joining me live, they can see that the ship is named Cellcast instead of Highwind. Those of you who joined me on the stream last week and wondering, wait a minute, you didn't beat Riku. See the first beginning of this where I said I went back and grinded, restarted the game, and grinded all the way to that same spot. And part of that was replaying through the Riku fight or the Riku race and the quote unquote Leon fight, which this time I actually beat because I was actually decently leveled up this time. So yeah. So you can go in here and build a gummy ship with the gummy parts that you've collected. For now, I'm just going with the basics. So I will see you on the other side of this first level. Okay. Remember how to get back out of here. Oh, I do have to explain that too. Forgot about that. Almost forgot. I should explain how to read the screen. Although it's kind of self-explanatory. When you first come here, you'll have basically 2 planets on screen. You'll have Traverse Town, and to the left, you can't get to it, but to the left there is Disney Castle. Originally, I think you were supposed to be able to go to Disney Castle in this game, but unfortunately, they were not able to implement that. So all there are the scenes from the opening where Donald and Goofy were leaving to go out, when they were finding out that King Mickey was missing. But yeah, when you're looking at this, you'll see 2 little spots you can go to that each are just question marks. It will say one has 1 star and the other has 2 stars. I will tell you that you can actually go to either one. You'll eventually have to do both. And there is a different, and the game does take that into account with a cutscene later on, but I'll get there when I get there. I will say, I don't think it really matters. I really don't think one's harder than the other, but the 2-star one does have a lot of fights in it. And we'll get to that later once I've leveled up even more. But for now, as the title of both this episode and the stream says, we're getting to Wonderland, so let's head that way. Hi, Geek Devotions. How's it going? I'm sure you caught this, but pretty much I'm going in and out as I do different things. So right now I can talk to you because I'm not recording, except through the stream, but I'm not recording the episode. Anyway, so yeah, let's go ahead and head that direction. Yeah, I think I stole this idea from you, actually. Oh, Donald's got something to say. We travel to different worlds on the Gimme Ship. Goofy says, the Heartless ships often give us a hard time. Sorry, I'm not doing this in the voice. Always be on the lookout during flight. Your journey will be documented until you reach your destination. Seek out the missions each world has to offer. Control the Gummy Ship with your left stick. Tilt it up to descend and tilt down to ascend. The blue gauge shows the power level. Firing lasers, among other things, consumes power. The green gauge shows the strength of the armor. If it reaches 0, it's back to the departing points. And we're starting. Okay. And if I remember correctly, granted, I've never done this part in Proud Mode. I think I've played the other parts before in Proud Mode like this, up to this point, but I have no idea how hard these guys are going to be in this mode with just basic weapons. A lot of these gaps, I'll tell you, have warp points in them later on when you come back. I'm not recording this because I know I'm going to touch on these things later if I continue recording the podcast like this. Which honestly, this isn't such a bad way to do it so far. I do remember, I did forget that this thing is this slow right at this early stage, because I am kind of used to having upgraded my gummy ship far past this point, and where it actually goes through here faster, which I prefer, because this feels like I'm just being slow. Okay, I am to Wonderland. Let me catch up on chat. Geekdebush says, lol, recording Inception. And then recording while streaming does help. It is making it a little bit easier. Never understood the point of this mini game. I think the entire point of having the gummy ship mini game is solely to, it's a nice way to visualize traveling from planet to planet. It's not as necessary as in some of the later games. They don't do the whole gummy ship thing at all. You just kind of, they have a way of transitioning, but it's different. And in some games, it doesn't even make sense, but to go to use a gummy ship. But yeah, I think that's just the idea. And plus, this is the start of the mini games that just continually show up in Kingdom Hearts. I don't know. It's not my favorite. I think here it's a little half-baked, which I'll talk about again here in a minute. But yeah, I get why you don't understand it. Donald Duck, Wazowski, you didn't finish your paperwork. Yeah, I'll admit that my Donald Duck, because I can't do the actual voice, does kind of sound like the evil secretary from Monsters Incorporated. Which says it upgrades. Yeah, you actually can get parts and upgrade the ship if you don't mind doing it. Granted, I didn't know that until, or I knew that, but I didn't actually deal with it until like the first time I was playing through 1.5, and I felt like an idiot for having never done anything, because I just thought it was going to be that slow. And I got faster engines. I was like, holy crap, it's a fun game, a fun mini game now. The real problem with it is it does start so slow. Geeklish says, bro, no wonder it felt so long to me. I agree. Neko says, imagine Donald Duck doing a Roz impression. I just did that. So yeah, I should record at least something on that particular mission, gummy ship mission. So yeah, I just finished the first gummy ship mission that took us from Traverse Town to Wonderland, and it is very basic. Having not played from the beginning of this game in a while, I will tell you I am missing the upgrades that come from later on and getting better gummy ship parts. Granted, I didn't know that originally until I was playing the 1.5 version, but c'est la vie. So yeah, once you get there, all you got to do is hit disembark. Though if you do go down to select world, you can pick another world if you want. I don't suggest it, because you got to play the world eventually. So we'll go ahead and jump into Wonderland. Okay. Disembark. And of course, this intro is pretty much like Alice falling down the rabbit hole. So upon entering Wonderland, you will fall down the rabbit hole, much like Alice does in the movie. Wonderland is, of course, a very abstract place, and that's kind of painfully obvious when you first land, because you've got textures of things in the floor that probably you would think would be 3D objects, but they're not. You've got a couch, you've got a lamp, and you got flower boxes, and they're just flat against the floor here. Like, that's an important thing. That's kind of how this game will handle the abstractness of Wonderland is flat textures in areas they shouldn't be flat. Also, I will point out that when you land, there is a short scene where with the White Rabbit, as he's complaining about being late for a very important date. The White Rabbit in this is played by Corey Burton, whose name is definitely going to come up quite often. So continue down the hall, and you'll go through a bunch of little doors, and you'll enter the Bazaar Room. Okay, then I'll do just that. The gummy ship looks like a little Lego brick toy. I kind of think that's the point, since you can kind of build whatever you want. So we got the Bazaar Room. This is a room we will come back to many times in Wonderland. If you look around, you can see that you've got some stuff that's flat against the wall. The White Rabbit, who just left when I was watching, we saw him run across the room. He was tiny, or smaller than he was, and then went through the little nut door at the end that's got a doorknob with eyes. And you're supposed to just go ahead and go up and talk to him, and he'll tell you what to do. But go ahead and just do yourself a bit of a favor. After you talk to the doorknob, push the green bed against the wall. It will save you so much time. Alrighty. So let's go ahead and do that scene.
How did he get so small?
No, you're simply too big. Must you be so loud? You woke me up. Good morning. Good night. I need a bit more sleep.
Wait, what do we have to do to grow small?
Why don't you try the bottle? Over there.
Neko says, oh, fun idea. Maybe have quick facts on what characters voice actors played in, what is sort of like a silly trivia thing, maybe well-known or obscure or a cameo work stuff. I can probably do that, though. Corey Burton is like in a ton of things. I think, if I'm not mistaken, I'll have to double check this really quick. I think he was one of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, if I'm not mistaken. I know he comes up in this a lot in this game. He's he plays like the most characters. This guy is insanely talented in terms of voice acting. And he's just kind of not many people know him because he does a lot of good sound alikes. Oh, he was Spike in the Transformers. That's good to know. I think, wasn't he one of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles? I think he was. Am I? Okay, all credits. I'm checking IMDb right quick. Nope, he wasn't one of the turtles because it's not coming up with anything. But yeah, he was Spike Witwicky in the original Transformers cartoon, so there's that. I can bring that up. I never related to a doorknob in my entire life. Neko says, yeah, maybe pick like roles people didn't know. Yeah, but I kind of feel like people should go like, oh, it's that guy. It's the same reason why I always try to pick something people know when I'm doing this on the podcast, right? The regular podcast. So, Geek Devotions, he is super talented. He is. I mean, it's crazy how many voices he does. So, I'm going to play just a little bit farther before I do the recording on this section. But yeah, we do want to go ahead and push that against the wall just to save you a bit of time. And then drink. All right. I wasn't going to be doing too much of that though, Neko, for one simple solitary reason, and that's I'm trying to keep my research. That's the word I'm looking for. I'm trying to keep my research low, and you saw how long it took me just to look up, oh, what else has Corey Burton been in? But yeah. And I can't possibly know everyone. Now, there is one big one that's about to come up I do know something interesting about, so I will do that. But first, let me get this in. So yeah, after you talk to the doorknob, he will tell you to drink from the bottle so that you can grow small. If you've ever seen Alice in Wonderland, you probably could have guessed that, but I don't think it will even let you do that until you talk to him. If you do that though, you'll find that if you go and talk to him again, he's back asleep. Oh, there's also Heartless here, I just found out. Hang on, let me pause and come back to y'all. I didn't think about the Heartless showing up. Okay, is that all the Heartless that are going to show up for now? Oh, I hear him. I hear him. There's an evil black bunny. Ooh, we got a lucid shard. So Sean says, I think Jim Cummings and Mel Blanc, and I don't know if you know, but there's voice impressionist voice actor named Brian Hall, who's also an amazing actor. You know what? You know which one will throw you if you didn't know about it? Gabriel Iglesias. I'm not kidding. He is known for being the current voice of Speedy Gonzales in Space Jam: A New Legacy, but he actually can do some pretty decent voices, believe it or not. Okay. So yeah, I defeated those Heartless. The doorknob is asleep. So if you didn't push the door against the wall, the bed against the wall, as I suggested earlier, you can go and get back up on the table and drink the other one, and you'll grow back to normal size, and then you'll be able to push it. But once you do that, you can then walk through the door, the opening, and into the Queen's Garden. I apologize for the minor spoilers I keep giving to help transition between scenes for the podcast people.
Court is now in session.
I'm on trial? But why?
Her Majesty, the Queen of Hearts, presiding.
This girl is the culprit. There's no doubt about it. And the reason is because I say so, that's why.
That is so unfair.
Well, have you anything to say in your defense?
Of course. I've done absolutely nothing wrong.
Yeah, that'll stand up in court.
But I'm afraid that doesn't give you the right to be so mean.
Silence! You dare defy me?
She does dare.
Hey guys, we should help her out.
We're outsiders, so wouldn't that be muddling? Oh, yeah.
I still love the cartoony things they do in this.
Court finds the defendant
What they can do.
guilty as charged for the crimes of assault and attempted theft of my heart. Off with her head!
For the kids!
Hold it right there.
Who are you? How dare you interfere with my court?
Excuse me, but we know who the real culprit is.
Uh-huh. It's the Heartland.
Anyway, she's not the one you're looking for.
That's nonsense. Have you any proof?
Bring me evidence of Alice's innocence. Fail, and it's off with all your heads. Gather as as much or as little evidence as you please. Report back here once you're ready. I should point out before we hit that scene that the doorknob was also voiced by Corey Burton. And interestingly enough, if you're curious who he is, if you ever seen the original Transformers cartoon, he's the voice of Spike Witwicky and a couple other characters. Also, in the movie Atlantis: The Lost Empire, he plays Moliere. And strangely enough, in Batman Arkham City, he plays Dr. Hugo Strange. So yeah, dude's got a wide range of talent. But as you go into the Queen's castle area, I should point out that the Queen of Hearts herself is voiced by Tress MacNeille, who is probably more famous for voicing Dot Warner on Animaniacs. And also, Alice here is voiced by Catherine Beaumont, her original voice actor from Alice in Wonderland. Catherine Beaumont does actually play two different roles here, and they're both reprisals of her original role. And bear in mind, this game came out in 2002, and Alice in Wonderland, I think, came out in like the 50s. So bear that in mind. She actually just sounds really good as Alice in this for the couple lines of Alice she has, and the other character she plays. She didn't have a whole lot of lines there either, but she does a good job there. But yeah, once you as you enter the castle, you see that Alice is on trial for supposedly stealing the Queen of Hearts' heart. Sora wants to get involved, but Goofy and Donald point out that that's meddling, and they're not technically supposed to meddle in the affairs of other worlds while they're visiting. But once Sora and the gang realize that, oh, the Heartless are who's at fault here, they jump in to try to help Alice. I will also point out here, and after that, the Queen says, well, if you don't have any evidence that this is the case, and you can actually show me, you'll have to go gather some. So you have, next, you'll be going next door into the Lotus Forest, and you're going to be looking for different pieces of evidence. You only have to get one, but you can get, I believe, 4. And depending on how many if you get all of them, you do get access to some magic earlier. But if you only get one of them, I should point out that depending on how many of these boxes that you do get, changes the chances that you'll actually not convict either you, your friends, or Alice of trying to steal the Queen's heart. So yeah, I would suggest getting all of them. While you're here in the Queen's Castle, you'll note, if you're paying attention, that despite the fact that we are supposedly outside in the garden, that we appear to be in a room. There are literally flat walls, a flat ceiling, corners. And yeah, this is playing on that same abstractness that Wonderland is kind of known for, but it's also kind of a call out to how the maps for this game, a reference to how this game handles its different gameplay maps. Kingdom Hearts uses what's known as room maps, where basically it loads a whole room that you can interact with, whereas other games such as like some first-person shooters, they're corridor-based, so they are loading stuff as you're coming up on them at the end of a long corridor. Or of course you got open world, where it's loading stuff that you can see. This, it loads the whole room and it stays loaded until you leave and go to the next room. So literally, this is a room map, and we are literally in a room. I think that's clever, honestly. And yeah, this is the only way the only time they would have ever gotten away with that. And I like it. And you'll see this again throughout the rest of the areas we go to. This just happens to be the first one where you can actually see it very well. But yeah, you'll notice that some objects that are against where the quote-unquote wall is, they'll disappear and be painted on the wall as if the perspective would have them go on, but it's painfully obvious it's just painted on the wall. But yeah, I just wanted to touch on that. Just so when you're ready, head into the Lotus Forest and we'll start looking for some clues. Okay. Backing up. Nico says, Donald Duck, I've been to the future. This is nothing but trouble. Geek Devotion says, wow, strange, referring to Hugo Strange. Neko then says, she would yell constantly, Katzenberg and Zaslav, or however you spell it. That's two different people, but sure. Geek Devotion says, working on a picture while listening to you, so I'm in and out. That said, you mentioned Gabriel Iglesias. My word, that man is talented. I didn't expect to like his comedy when I first heard about him. I don't know why. It's just I was afraid it was just gonna not hit. It was not gonna be something I culturally understood, as I guess is what I'm trying to say. But his stuff is so stinking hilarious. Highly suggest giving that man a listen. Nega says, so if her heart is gone, then why isn't she a heartless? Now that's a good question. Because her heart's not gone. It was attempted theft of her heart. Attempted. It means it failed. So yeah, bear that in mind. You can go ahead and talk to these guys and they'll say different things. So go and find proof of her innocence. Don't keep the queen waiting. Yeah, I've razzed Francisco about not talking to NPCs, so I should talk to NPCs. White Rabbit, what do you have to say? Before you sits her royal majesty, the noble queen of hearts. Okay. Can I jump that far? If I time it better, can I jump that far? Yay, I can jump that far. Okay, so the Queen of Hearts has, you better bring evidence soon. Can we talk to Alice down here? Who are you? I'm Sora. I'm Goofy, and there's Donald. Pleased to meet you, though I do wish it was under better circumstances. I'm sorry you got mixed up in this nonsense. And this guard says, do not speak to the defendant. Well, too late, buddy. Too late. So yeah, let's head into the Lotus Forest. Oh wait, what's this guard say? I did see someone suspicious. You. Well, aren't you a nice person? Disembodied cat head. It's a ghost cat! And it's dancing on its head. Who are you? Who indeed? Poor Alice, soon to lose her head, and she's not even guilty of a thing. Hey, if you know who the culprit is, tell us. The Cheshire Cat has all the answers, but doesn't always tell. The answer, the culprit, the cat, all lie in darkness. Wait! They've already left the forest. I won't tell which exit. There are 4 pieces of evidence in all. 3 are a cinch to find. The 4th is tricky. Big reward if you find them all. Should we trust them? To trust or not to trust? I trust you'll decide. All right. So, yeah, there are 4 pieces of evidence in here, and I always forget where they are. And there's Heartless in here, so we'll take out some Heartless while we're here. Ah! Take out the Heartless so I can record the podcast. All right. So I do have to remember. I know it's the yellow one here, And it is potion. Okay, good. I have plenty of those. I have like 20 potions. All from farming Shadow Heartless and Destiny Islands. Neko says, the Heartless be like, oh no, I ain't touching that thing with a 7-foot long flamingo. Hey, Lesty, how are you doing? Lesty says, I've spent far too many hours in this room. Believe me, I have to. Neko says, us Nekomata and those Cheshire Cats are very different species, I may remind you. That's fair. That's fair. Okay, so I know I want to save the... I want to save the flower to last for now. Because that's... that always confuses me where to put the thing. And I don't remember if these Heartless ever stop spawning after you beat a bunch, or if they will respawn on a timer. I think they respawn on a timer. Okay, and I'm getting turned around again. Okay, there's a blue Trinity right there, but let's get this evidence first. Got footprints. Get a bunch of items. A lot of magic that kind of helps. I haven't used a lot of magic. I don't use a lot of magic normally when I play, except to heal myself, because Donald does have a tendency not to heal. I haven't set his AI really up yet to try and make it better, but I know he gets a little troublesome with that. Oh, I forgot to equip my new stuff. There we go. That'd be a little bit better. Celeste says, I'm good, lurking while I play Dreamlight. Dallas has you up on the TV. Nice. Neko says, I mean, everyone's a little unhinged as a door in a doormat, as they say in southern parts of Wonderland. The other side says, we're all a little mad down here, which is a more common phrase. Fair, fair. Okay, so... upon entering the Lotus Forest, you will come upon the Cheshire Cat, who unfortunately is not voiced in this game. He is voiced in one of the later games, but we'll get there when we get there. But he'll tell you there are 4 pieces of evidence that you need to go after. 3 are easy to find, 1's a little bit trickier. I will tell you if you haven't done so yet, and I probably should have said this earlier, but make sure you have at least a potion on you, as you will need it to solve a puzzle in this room. But yeah, keep that in mind. But your first piece of evidence is just going to be right around the wall on your right. So go ahead and grab that, and then kind of work your way up to the entrance of the tree, I believe. I may re-record parts of this to make it make sense, but yeah. Okay, that stopped. I was right. So yeah, when you go through the door there in the tree, after you jump up on the mushrooms and cross the lily pads, you can enter the door in the tree, and it will drop you onto the stove top in the bazaar room. Remember how I said we were going to be coming back here a lot? So yeah, you can get your second piece of evidence here. And then in order to get back to where the others are, you'll have to go back through the Queen's Castle, through the open door, and then, of course, back into the Lotus Forest. Okay. Neko says, will you cover the weird side games like that one mobile game? My plan is okay, first off, right now I am only focused on this game. Part of the reason I decided to start replaying the games is hey, we don't know when Kingdom Hearts 4 is coming out, but it does help to at least have gone through this stuff again every once in a while. Plus, I've never beat this game on proud mode because I am playing on the hardest difficulty, the second hardest difficulty. I can't play on the hardest difficulty till I beat this one, because a part of me still wants to try and platinum this game. But I can tell you, I plan to cover, if I do continue past Kingdom Hearts 1, I do plan to cover Chain of Memories, which is the card game one, specifically the PS2 version, which is included in the 1.5, 2.5 remix. I'll play Kingdom Hearts 2, and I'll play Birth by Sleep, which is the PSP game originally. And then somewhere in there, I will watch, and I will stream this, but I'll watch the cutscenes from 358 over 2 days, 358 days over 2. I always say that backwards. It's 358 days over 2, and from Recoded. It's just the easiest way to handle those, and you do get pretty much the gist. I will probably do those like on a Saturday stream, and I'll just kind of hit that over the course of a long day. But when it's time to do those, obviously. After that, I do plan to do I would do Dream Drop Distance, which was the 3DS game. And then I would do probably 0.2 Birth by Sleep, a fragmentary passage, which was kind of the tech demo for Kingdom Hearts 3 that is canon, because of course it is. And then somewhere at this point, I will try to cover Kingdom Hearts Union Cross, that whole long thing. It is crazy how long that is. And Kingdom Hearts Dark Road, which were the mobile games that technically are no longer playable, but there are places to do it. I would have to do those as by itself podcasts. I would not be able to stream that for obvious reasons. You can still access the app and watch the cutscenes, but it does not contain all of the cutscenes. Strangely enough, I don't know why. I think you can still play some of Dark Road on that app, but I don't think it's it doesn't work as well, if I remember correctly. But those were gacha games. If you're talking about like the old, like the Verizon Vcast game, that's not going to happen because I don't know it. And I don't even know where I would find it. So yeah, that's probably not going to happen. And then somewhere in there at that point, because since I would have touched on some things that occur in those games with the Union Cross and the other one, I would then play Kingdom Hearts 3 and then probably Melody of Memory again, because I have streamed Melody of Memory on this before, way back in the day. But, and then maybe Kingdom Hearts 4 will be out and I can stream that blind. That would be fun. But yeah, that's the general plan. But like I said, for now, I am only focused on doing Kingdom Hearts 1. Geekdosh says, did you hear they murked the Duolingo owl? I've never even used Duolingo, so I hadn't been paying attention to it. They killed it? Is that what you're saying? Nico says, Kingdom Hearts 3, sadly, in the corner. I'm always picked last. Well, Kingdom Hearts, you can't jump straight into Kingdom Hearts 3. That is like jumping straight into Avengers Endgame without having seen any of the other previous movies. It's not smart. It is not smart at all. So, yeah. Don't start straight with Kingdom Hearts 3. You will be lost. You will be very lost. So, yeah, let's go ahead and jump back to the Lotus Forest now that I've got 2 of the pieces of evidence. Which is going to cause these things to pop out again. Heartless? Where are you, Heartless? There you are, Heartless. Okay, so I know I've got to go up here. There's just... I didn't make it. I did not make it. There we go. Found Dalmatians. Puppies number 16, 17, and 18 have returned home. At least there aren't any puppies in Atlantica. Because those would be some wet... We'll just be nice. Say some wet puppies. Ah, I missed. So that was the third piece of evidence right there. So that was on this lily pad in the back corner, or next to the back corner mushrooms. The third piece of evidence is in the back corner of the lotus forest. You'll find 3 mushrooms. Jump on the one at the very back corner, then jump to the right, and then jump up on the lily pad, and you will find it. There's also a chest up here if you jump the other direction, and you can find your first 3 Dalmatian puppies. Definitely save your puppies. Send them home. Pongo and Perdita will be very happy to have them back, and they will show you their gratitude. Geekdivish says, yep, you need to check their Twitter, haha. They tweeted a, hey Drake, then an hour later tweeted his death. Wow. Geekdivish says, I started Kingdom Hearts 2 in college, never finished it, but my lord, it was a long intro. Played for 2 hours before I got to the actual opening. Ah, yes, the first 10 days of Kingdom Hearts 2. I remember being absolutely confused what was happening because I kind of knew who that character was because I had played that part of Chain of Memories. They'd kind of talked about who he was, and I'd been keeping up with the news as the games were coming out. But yeah, I'm not going to get into that right now. That's a future not to worry about. Which, speaking of which, reminds me. Hang on. I'm recording this out of order. Forgive me. So yeah, I am returning to Untangling Kingdom Hearts after what I guess is nearly a 2-year hiatus. But I do want to. I am doing this slightly differently. I am actually streaming the game while I'm recording the episodes. So every once in a while I'm doing this, you should be hearing background music and even maybe hear me operate menus while I'm talking. But and I think at one point you might even hear me get attacked by a Heartless. I am recording part of this out of order. Forgive me. But I do want to go ahead and touch on at least some of the what I called knots in the previous iterations of this show. And that's those parts of continuity that I feel should be pointed out to keep an eye out for. Some of them are going to be obvious, some are not. So I don't remember what knots I had before tonight, before this recording. You probably know better than I do because you might have gone back and listened to those episodes before you got to this one. I don't know. But let me go ahead and touch on the knots I think, looking at this now, you should be thinking about. Back during the Stations of Awakening section, you know, the dream sequence there where Sora was jumping between the stained glass windows of the different Disney princesses. You know, first we had Snow White, and then Cinderella, and then there was a panel that was had 3 hearts on it with 3 princesses in shadow, and then you had Princess Aurora from Sleeping Beauty, and then the last one was Belle from Beauty and the Beast. Who those 3 princesses are actually do apply. We haven't got to a point in the story where the number of princesses is important, and I will admit I didn't know this the first time I played through the game. I didn't make this connection, but keep in mind those 3 princesses being a mystery are something to keep in mind. The next kind of big thing is Kyrie. Kyrie was, when we meet her, we find out she's actually not from the island. She's, as far as the game says, from another world. Though I remember when I was playing this, I remember originally going, another world? There's only one world. How is she from another island? Is that what you're trying to say? Is this a weird thing? But no, she is. The game clearly states that her home is on another world during that opening sequence. I want to bear that in mind. So the question is, where did Kyrie come from? Another thing is when the Heartless are attacking the island, two events happen right next to each other. First is that Riku suddenly has a lot of knowledge about the darkness and how it's going to help him get to another world. So, A, how does he know that? Did he hear? That'll come up later. And secondly, why did the Keyblade choose Sora? Things to keep in mind. After that, Sora goes over to the secret place, if you remember, and while in there, this mysterious Kyrie is standing in front of this mysterious door in the secret place, and the door opens, and the shadows push Kyrie towards Sora, and right before she should be hitting, going full tilt into Sora, she disappears. Where did Kyrie go? That's another knot to keep in mind. And then, of course, you've got, where is King Mickey? Because Donald and Goofy are looking for him. That's another knot. Only other we did get at least some explanation for some of the lore going into this during the exposition dump from, quote unquote, Leon and Yuffie and Aerith, but in Traverse Town. But that in many ways raises more questions than answers, because Traverse Town is kind of a catch point for people whose worlds have been destroyed. That's how Sora ended up there. So where are those Final Fantasy characters from? Since that's not their world. And how do they seem to know so stinking much about what's going on? Just another knot to think about. I think that's all the knots prior to this point. So we'll go ahead and just jump into the game. Sorry about that. I thought of that at this stage of the game, which I should have had at the beginning, but whatever. Neko says, will you include Sora's inclusion in Super Smash Brothers? That is something I want to do, but because of my theory as to how Sora fits into Smash Brothers and how that quote unquote makes Super Smash Brothers Ultimate a Kingdom Hearts game, I can't touch it till after I go over Kingdom Hearts Recoded. So I'm just not going to worry about that right now, but it's coming, and I want to have a guest on there. The other podcast network I am still technically a part of, even though it's pretty much dead. There's a guy over there I know named Ryan Ashley Wall, who has a Super Smash Brothers podcast called Super Smash Cast. In fact, I did his album art for him. And I want to have him on when I do the Super Smash Brothers episode, because he knows far more about Smash Brothers than I do. So yeah, but that's not going to happen for a while at this stage. So, and like I said, still primarily focused just on Kingdom Hearts 1. But that is during my ideas how I'm going to handle Smash Brothers. Neko says, like the end of this world project, you finally say, and Sora appeared in Super Smash Brothers Ultimate as a DLC fighter, and that will conclude our series. Finally, can I end this? No. That's not how it works. I don't want to get into it right now because it's crazy, but to a degree, Tetsuya Nomura, the creator of Kingdom Hearts, had said in an interview about Sora's inclusion in Smash Brothers that he had to think how it would work in the lore of the franchise. Which kind of sounds like either A, he realized he was thinking about it too hard, or B, and this is the one I go with for the fun of it, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate is a Kingdom Hearts game. That's why it's included in Kingdom Hearts Connections on the podcast, on the main podcast. Neko says, because let's be real, after like months of this, you might you might make you go, ugh, I am not done yet. That is very possible. Neko says, I thought you said Ponyo. No, not Ponyo. Leslie says, isn't Kairi from Final Fantasy? No. Kairi is an original character for Kingdom Hearts. Now, during that early scene, Sora confuses her for Yuffie, and Yuffie is from Final Fantasy VII. But no, Kairi is an original character. Neko says, and that will all be revealed in the next episode of Kingdom Hearts. Plays outro music. The show is called Untangling Kingdom Hearts. In fact, to be more specific, the full title is The Cellcast Presents Untangling Kingdom Hearts. It's all good, Neko. I'm just giving you a hard time, razzing you for the fun of it. You couldn't possibly know that. But, and like I said, I may decide not to record another episode after this. I'm still gonna plan on streaming Kingdom Hearts 1 at least until the end of that game, and maybe go and do the others. But I am strongly considering continuing recording Untangling Kingdom Hearts in this fashion, simply because it does make a lot of things easier, and I cannot hit that while the thing is set in this position. So yeah, I've got all 3 of those, so now it's time to get to the 4th one. Give me a potion and I'll make you bigger. So I go to items, I go to potion, and I go to flower. And now I am big. So, and I have messed this up so many times. First, it's ripe enough to be picked and eaten. First, hit the... Oh, not hit the tree, hit... Nope, I didn't knock it off. Take. That's what you gotta do. Okay, do not eat. Turn that around, now eat. Okay. So now I gotta go back over here to these. I think now when I go up here, I still can't get over there. There's a, oh, I remember now. Duh. Okay. I'll worry about that in a second. Okay. Turn this way. That's up there. Ah! Missed. I missed. This is what the longest part of this is. Doing these puzzles and trying to remember, okay, when I played this game 20 years ago, and when I played this game 7 years ago, how did I do this? Because I don't remember. I think this is turned the wrong way. Oh, and I forgot something else. This is why you get 20 potions. I need to be bigger again, please. Neko says, ah, yes, the show Dastardly and Muttley and their flying machines and Josie and the Pussycats in outer space. Geek Devotion says, really glad you like doing this. This podcast really seemed to be a passion of yours. It's something I kind of wanted to do, but wasn't sure how to go about it. And even now, I'm still kind of like, is this something I want to do? Because this is going to be a lot of work, if we're being honest. Okay. I needed to do that. I know that. And I can't turn this... I can't turn the camera right now, which is annoying me. I don't think you're supposed to, so... Turn that. Take. And then hit... I gotta hit that again. Neko says, the 60s was a year, wasn't it, Drew? A, the 60s was a decade, and B, I wasn't alive in the 60s, so I don't know how it was. Well, bro, when you get a chance, check the picture I put in the stream discussion on my Discord. Okay, I'll do that here in just a second. Okay, yeah, I know you go up here to this entrance to the bazaar room, and you just barely land on that. And then this is the tricky part, because you got to get over there. And Donald is in the way. Scoot. Thank you, Donald, for falling to your death. Whee! And I obtained claw marks. Cheshire Cat's back. Well, look what you found. Nice going. Now we can save Alice. Don't be so sure. She may be innocent. But what about you? What do you mean? I won't tell, but I'll give you something. Obtained the power of ice. Learned magic spell blizzard. Now you can let it go. No, I'm kidding. I will go ahead and bring that up while I'm in between stuff. Wow, I have got a lot of notifications in Discord right now. Stream discussions. Dude, that is so stinking wrong. That is so wrong. Why would you do that to me, Geek Devotions? Oh, man. Thanks a lot, Geek Devotions. Thanks a lot. Now I've got soggy Pop-Tarts stuck in my head. Oh, we got some new Heartless here. I am going to have to talk about the new Heartless that, all the Heartless I've run into at the end of this one. I don't know. I assumed I talked about Shadows and Knights on the last one, because that was one of the things I did here. Soldiers. But yeah, I hadn't talked about the others yet, so. So I do, before I go and turn that in, oh, I I do still have to record the part about how you get that last one, don't I? I should do that really quick. So, you found 3 of them, but there's a 4th one, and it's a little tricky to find. So I'm going to tell you how to get it. First off, remember that potion I told you to have? Walk over to the yellow flower and go give the flower the potion so that it will make you big. Then, now that you're big, walk over to the tree and target the little nut on the upper left limb and hit take. But do not, and that will knock it off onto the ground. Then, before you take that nut, bop the tree with your keyblade so that it will turn around. Then take the nut. And then once you've done that, no. Reverse that. Back up. Go to the front and jump on the stump that the Cheshire Cat was on so that it will pop the lily pad up into place. Then, go get the nut off of the tree by hitting triangle when you're near it, but do not grab. Once the nut is on the floor, do not grab the nut. First, hit the tree so it'll spin around, then eat the nut. And then you can go into the cove that had the first piece of evidence. You can jump up on the lily pads from there and jump back across the left-hand side of the room to another door that'll get you to an opening that'll take you back into the bazaar room. You will land on a faucet in the bazaar room. Donald will most likely be, the piece of evidence is on a little shadow box thing to your left. Probably where Donald landed between you and it. And I'm just going to tell you, you're going to need to move Donald first before you even attempt to make that jump. So just kind of nudge Donald slowly off of that faucet until he falls. And then, if you have to, back up, but then you should be able to jump over that and get the last one. Once you do that, the Cheshire Cat will show back up. He will give you a little bit of a clue as to what's about to happen, and then he will give you the power of ice, the spell Blizzard. And now you can cast both fire and ice. And Retro Roy from Retro Rewind Podcast will give you a 3.5. That's an inside joke. Let's move on. But then you go present your evidence to the Queen of Hearts, and we'll see where it goes from there. Okay. Neko says, I keep hearing Bizarro Room in my head. Yeah, but it's the Bizarre Room is what it's called, and you go there multiple times in this level. All right. Are you ready to present evidence before the Queen? Yes. Very well, Council. Step up to the podium. Now, show me what you have found. Well, that's certainly a lot of evidence, but I'm still not impressed. Cards, bring forth my evidence. Checking all 5 would only be a waste of time. All right, then choose the one you wish to present. I'll decide who's guilty based on that evidence. What? After all the chump of collecting it? You dare object? Then you will lose your head. Now choose 1 box. So, you present your evidence to the Queen of Hearts. She then produces her own bit of evidence. Depending on how much evidence you gave her, hopefully you gave her all 4 pieces, but depending on how much evidence you give her, she will then complete that list up to 5. So no matter what, she will take 5 boxes of evidence, mix them up, and tell you to pick one. And she will determine who is guilty based on which one you pick. Which is why I suggest getting all 4, because then you have there's only a 1 out of 5 chance you'll pick the wrong one. So do that. Pick whichever one of the 5 you want. Really doesn't matter. And the scene will continue from there. And I'm just going to pick the middle one here. Are you certain? No second chances, I'm sure. Now we shall see who the real culprit is. A Heartless. Who'd have guessed? What in the world was that? There's your evidence. Alice is innocent. Silence! I'm the law here. Article 29. Anyone who defies the Queen is guilty. That's crazy. Seize them at once. I got a message on my... Hang on. I got a message on my phone. Jacob sent me something on Discord. Well, that's disturbing. But it's album art concept art for the podcast for this Friday. And boy, yeah, was that disturbing. Okay, so yeah, defeating the cards. In reality, whack on the tower. Get them, you fools. Now, I should point out, there's a fun thing. She's lower to the ground now, so she could actually hit you if you get too close. Oh, I think, hang on. Here I am playing around instead of actually taking care of this, but I believe, yeah, you can knock her on her butt. I only found out about that recently because I never attacked her when I originally played this game. I didn't know you had to. I knew you had to attack this, but I never could figure out. I remember it took me a couple times originally to figure out how to actually beat this boss. Alice is missing. Ooh. She must have gotten kidnapped while we were fighting. You fools! Find the ones who's behind this. I don't care how. So yeah, no matter if you picked the right piece of evidence or you picked the wrong piece of evidence, you have to fight the cards. And the heart of the cards will not help you this time. But yeah, basically, the only real difference here is if you do pick the wrong box, and you have no way of knowing until it actually pulls, there's a chance that Donald and Goofy, or both, will not be able to help you in the fight. Now, you can, I think, knock them out of the cages the game puts them in, but that is a possibility, so keep that in mind. The other thing is for this fight, the Queen of Hearts on her dais is lowered to the ground enough that Sora can actually jump up and give her a couple whacks if he wants to. It will not help you, but the nice thing is she will be pushed back on her and with her tush up in the air, which is at least kind of funny that they went to that much trouble. It doesn't matter how many of the actual cards you fight, as that too will not help you. What you need to do is that tower that rose up out of the ground that the cards raised Alice into the air with, you need to whack that. And whack all three of the little wheels around either side of it. And then once those three wheels are gone, then start whacking at the tower itself. And then once you do that, the fight will end. The cage that Alice is in will be lowered to the ground. The curtain will turn around to show that Alice is gone. There's yet another knot. Where'd Alice go? Because I'm just going to go ahead and tell you, we ain't going to find her in this level, even though we're about to go look for her. So, yeah. Go. The Queen will then order everyone to go look. You two will have to go look. But now would be a good time to save. I'll say that. Neko says, okay, that's a good detail. Neko says, without a doubt, look for the big blue box in the random field. That's the Fallout games where you can find the TARDIS for no apparent reason. That disappears before you get to it. Geek Devotion says, you're saying whack so many times, it's starting to wonder if you're part Italian. Well, you know, this is not very good Italian. But I can talk like this, like I'm Mario, and you can whack. You can whack the Queen of Hearts with your Keyblade, and it will take her. It will knock her on her tush. That sounded horrible. No, I am not a part Italian. I am British. I am very British in terms of my ancestry. No, you're Italian and super Russian. Well, that's how you know I'm able to crush sparrow egg between man's thighs. Is the fact that I can talk with this accent, like I'm Zangief from Street Fighter 2. Neko says, hey Drew, remember that cloud that looked like Sora or Donald holding a Keyblade? Donald never held a Keyblade. I think I did need to go in here and, okay, yeah, I don't have... I'm still waiting for SC scan. I'm surprised I haven't picked up the scan ability yet. He just says, your Italian is on point as Francisco's Cajun. I feel that. I feel that. Back into the Lotus Forest. Have you seen Alice? It's probably about as good as my Donald Duck. Alice, no. Shadows, yes. Where did they go? This way, that way, does it matter? Left, right, up, down, all mixed up thanks to the shadows. Step deeper into the forest to the deserted garden. You might find shadows in the upside down room. So here's another little... Oh, hang on. I'll show this off in a second. Oh, Donald's down. Here's a surprise. Come on. So the bad part of this is I've used up all the potions in my quick inventory. It's very likely I'm gonna die, and I did not save. Echo says, "You're not gonna stop talking about shadows." Neko says, "I worry because that is so true." Neko says the Cheshire needs to get his game straight. Shadows are what the Heartless are also called, especially the little black bunny ones, as they are actually called shadows. I call them evil black bunnies because it's fun, but they're actually the name of those Heartless are shadows. They're not like the shadows in Persona 5, but they are there. I am going to go ahead and do this since I know I need to. Exchange. Potion. Exchange. Potion. And alley-oop. Okay. So yeah, I do need to go talk to this flower again. I assume he will still give me... Yeah, he'll still do that. So if I go and get the potion again, give it to the flower. I can then move this rock into the water. Which then makes it easier to get up there. And of course, to get smaller, I do this again. Like it says, I don't know if OG Persona 3 came out during that time. It was PS2. Persona 3 came out after the PlayStation 3 came out, I believe. It was very close because I remember it being it's kind of odd that Persona 4 also came out on the PlayStation 2 at that time. So... Okay, so now I can go over here, jump here, jump onto here, and jump into here. Well, you also have to remember, Neko, that shadows are... Oh, hey, they get the term shadows from in Persona 3, which is not the game I'm talking about here, but... a lot of that game is based off Jungian psychology, and shadows are kind of the things, in, if I'm remembering correctly, in Jungian psychology. Not that I agree with any of it, but shadows are that dark part of the soul that there's yourself it's like your dark side, if I'm remembering correctly. Like I said, I don't believe any of this. I just kind of what I know I learned from playing Persona, so. That's where that comes from. It's not, they didn't get it from Kingdom Hearts. There's something that happens here. Oh, shock me. I don't have the ability to shock yet, so we're going to go in here. Echo says, they got it from Carl Jung, or, yeah, it's Jung. And it's spelled J-U-N-G, actually. Found Dalmatians 13, 14, and 15. They have returned home. I should save. Before I get too far, I should save. The other one I get into from the garden. So I probably should mention you can get the Dalmatians there, since I did mention Dalmatians earlier. So I probably will. Still can't remember. Oh, wait. I think because the rock moved. I know the rock is what lets me go into that area back here. I see Donald is getting good use of the ice magic. So I think it might be that I give something to this one. So I give you a potion. He never spell his name right. Okay, that just gave me magic. That's nice and all, but it's not what I need. I know there's a way over there. I just don't remember how to do it. And it may be that I need the extended jump that you get after you go to Neverland before you can get over there. Because you're not intended to get all the secrets on your first visit. Also, there's a room like right there, I think you used to get over there. Or maybe it's over. Oh, no, that was how I got over there originally. I don't remember. It's been so long, and I will have to look up some stuff to get all the secrets. But, oh, Artsy Steph's back. Geek Devotion says, is there a power buff to getting all the Dalmatians? I have to get back with you on that, Geek Devotions. I don't remember what you get if you get all the Dalmatians. Outside of the fact that you get a PlayStation trophy, which I've already earned. But Artsy Stuff says, well, I'll be darned. I made it back. Ha ha ha. Ew. Yeah, so I am about to head to the garden because pretty much I think I've gone as far here as I can. I should mention how I got those Dalmatians, so let me do that real quick. All right, so when you enter the Lotus Forest, a red flower will spit out the giant boulder from the back of the room, and the Cheshire Cat will come out and tell you, hey, you need to go to the garden in order to find where Alice may have gone, or at least where the Heartless are. You need to go take care of them. If after that scene finishes off, you then go to the flower that made you grow earlier, give it a potion so you grow, you can then move that boulder into the pond, and it will spring up 2 lily pads that when you're little, you can use to jump into the area over between there, which will lead you to a door that'll take you back to the Queen's Castle that will get you 3 more Dalmatians. So do that. Also, there is a blue Trinity mark that I am actually doing right now. That will get you some stuff. Including a camping set, which is what I just got. I don't remember. We will find out together, folks, what happens when I give this flower a high potion that's in this little room. Oh, it's just magic. Never mind. Ignore what I just said. Oh, but I got a mega potion out of it, so that's nice. But yeah, if you go through that door, you will then head out. You will then find yourself back at the Queen's Castle, and then you can get the next 3 Dalmatians. Return to the Lotus Forest, head to the back of the room, and go through the door that was previously blocked by the boulder, and you will end up in the tea garden. Okay. Neko says, let's be real, Sora Riku and Kairi would have old literature figures as their personas, probably. Neko says, as Igor, welcome to the Velvet Room, Sora. And who's this, the Disney princess? Elizabeth is the background. Funny, most fans call me a princess. No, they don't. Geek Divish says, hey, RCSF, welcome to the party, sis. Geek Divish says, I feel like this level took me forever. I remember it took me a long time. I'm going through this fast primarily because I've played this level so many times. Because I played this back in the PS2 days. I think I played through it 3 times, never having beaten the game for one reason or another. So I've played this section a bunch. and I remember being annoyed at it every time. Okay, I can't. That's good to know that I can't sit in the chairs yet. I think that's when I come back through, which means I can't get that yet either. So, okay. So you enter the Tea Party Garden and you see a photo of the March Hare and the Mad Hatter that are looking very sad because they don't have any friends. Unfortunately, we cannot help them right now. So continue into their cottage to end up in, see if you can guess, the Bazaar Room. They're hiding somewhere, and the Mumrath's outgrabe. Want to find the shadows? Try turning on the light. So yeah. Geek Devotion says, how bizarre. Well, when you are on the ceiling, I need to go back and watch She Says' Boundary Break. And because I did an episode on the original Kingdom Hearts back in the day, and I am still curious if I am literally on the ceiling of this room or if it's a different room that's just designed to look the same. Because I am legitimately curious. I know some of the others is definitely the same room when you go back in them from the different entrances. But I don't know if that's true here. Guido says, but if JoJo were here to go on an adventure in this bizarre room, probably not. I don't think JoJo is here. Thankfully, Dio is not here either, because that would get very nasty. It's too dim. Make it brighter. What next? One more lamp you need to light. I remember I was confused the first time I played this because I assumed since I had fire magic, I could just light the lamps on fire without having to jump up here. So I didn't know you were supposed to jump up here and just hit triangle, but which I still think would have been a cooler way to do it. But either way, we do it by hitting triangle. All the lights are on. You'll see the shadows soon. They'll arise in this room, but somewhere else. The shadow might go after that doorknob, too. So yeah, I am pretty much to the boss fight once I return to the right side up version of the Bazaar Room. I just realized I'm in the upside down. It's almost like it's Stranger Things. Anyway. Geek Devotion says, dang, you could use a stand power to heal yourself so you don't have to worry about Donald doing nothing. That's the thing is Donald can't heal me right now except by using potions, and I think he's used up all the ones he had. Neko then says, Sora would have like Mad Hatter, that awakens to Cinderella, which is Yoshizawa's persona in 5. Yeah, Riku would have Pinocchio and turns into Aurora, and Kairi would have Tinkerbell awakening into Rapunzel. I don't know if I agree with that completely. Neko says, I don't know, I think it could work. Fair. Giver says, whoa. Oh, oof, better run if you're in the upside down. Neko says, oh, hey, we're in Australia. I knew it looked familiar. Not quite. Not quite Australia. Oh. So yes, you're in the upside down of the Bazaar Room. There will, of course, be some Heartless you will probably have to take out before you can actually do the actual thing you're here to do, which is to jump up on the lamps and hit the button so that you can light them. The Cheshire Cat will pretty much help you along in that way, but that's what you got to do. Jump up on the lamps, light them, and then they will want you to return to the right side up version of the Bazaar Room. So do that, and you may have a boss fight. Geek Devotion says, "Got a crash, bro. Have a good stream. Thank you. You have it was great having you here. I'll say it said right in a minute. But yeah, I'll talk to you later, Geek Devotion. So have a good evening." Can I sit in the chairs now? Okay, that is the return trip to... Or do I have to read the rules first? A very unmerry birthday. No, I can't sit in the chairs yet. It must be when you come back after fighting the boss that happens. These things. I don't... Granted, it was wanting me to shoot it with fire, but I don't... I should be doing that. Hang on, let's... Okay, you're cold. So... Fire. Which I think I already messed it up because I hit the other one. And you are... Well, now you want gravity, which I can't help you with. Quit doing that one. Do one I can do. Okay. I don't have that one. I don't have that one.
See ya.
Hey, I got a bunch of stuff. Bizarro looks like normal rooms. Bizarro wonders if the game was made easy, not on purpose. If you know how Bizarro, I dare you to translate it backwards in a weird way. I know what you're saying. You're saying it opposite. The game is actually not that hard as it was designed for kids, especially on the easy mode. This is the first time I'm playing it on like the second to hardest mode, which I'd play it on the hardest mode, but I can't get that until after I beat this mode. So there's that. And yeah, I'm going ahead and saving before I get into this fight. You'll have a better view from higher up. Which, yeah, I'm not going to be able to record about this boss fight until after I do this. That's going to be fun to remember everything. The shadow should be here soon. Are you prepared for the worst? If not, too bad. I still think this thing looked cooler in the original version. I do not like the final mix colors. In the original version, it had a kind of a Harley Quinn look to it. Thankfully, in Chain of Memories, when you fight him, he does have they do have the original looks, which is nice. Come here. Come back over here. Can you come over here? But you can't come over here. Come over here. Admittedly, in the Chain of Memories version, this fight is a lot harder. And we have to do the Chain of Memories because it's a separate story, even though it goes through the same worlds and has some of the same fights, just done differently. But yeah, this fight, I remember, took me... it was very hard for me to figure this out originally. Because his hitbox is way up there. Come on. Don't you light your batons on fire? You don't want to do that. You want to just go down and take a nap. Come on, go down. Come on. Go down already. Man, I forget how much health this thing has. Ah, he ran away. Oh, chair's back. Come on, go down. Go down already. Be nice if that chair came back. Or I can do that. Oh, come on. But then again, I was never good at platforming, so then it might just be me. Yeah, this is actually a very tough fight. Imagine Keyblade durability would be a crime against the series and fans. Arsa says, darn connections. I'm sorry you're having some connection issues tonight, Artsy. Yeah, this is one of those I can't skip because it's how they made it. This one I can. I will admit, part of the reason I really want to get Scan, which I don't have yet, is so that I can see how much health the boss has, because it makes me feel better knowing how close I'm getting to winning the fight. Come on. That's the sad thing, is I probably was fairly close to beating him on that last fight. Come on. Come on. Donald's down again. Ah. No, you don't. Don't light it on fire. Crappy lap it on fire. Ah. Come on. There we go. I beat him. And he is down for the count. Obtained Ifrit's Horn. Doorknobs aren't supposed to sleep. In fact, you're not supposed to be alive. What was that? You hear that? Sounded like something closed. That gummy ain't like the others, no sir. Okay, I'll hold on to it. Obtain Nevi G piece. Splendid, you're quite the hero. If you're looking for Alice, though, she's not here. She's off with the shadows into darkness. No. Let's go back to our gummy ship. We might find her in another world. We gotta go to a save point to return to our ship. So apparently save points are in the universe. Okay. That's a lot to talk about right quick. So upon returning to the bizarre room, the Cheshire Cat will ask you to jump up on the table. Talking to talking to the Cheshire Cat up there, he will pretty much tell you, oh, hey, you're about to fight a boss. And the boss comes down, and the boss is of a regular human size, technically. It's just that you're shrunk. So yeah, in order to fight this boss, you've got to continually be hitting the main body, but the legs are pretty much the only things that are within hitting range most of the time. So what you've got to do is jump up to hit him and do that continuously, and it will take a lot of hits. Now, there are a couple other things you can do to help yourself. If you can get back up on the table, that will get you back on the same level as the boss, and you'll be able to get in a bunch of hits before where you fall back to the ground and have to do the same thing. Do not camp out on the table, because if he gets near you and hits it, you will fall back to the ground as the table will disappear. The same thing will happen with the chair. Bear that in mind. Other places you can jump from to try and get some height are the little end table there in the back right hand corner. You'll see the end table I'm talking about. It's just right about the size you can kind of get up there, and that'll get you some height. Also, there's a little brown chair there you can jump up from. That'll get you a little bit more height. Just do that. Just keep wailing on the on that Heartless, and you should have no trouble beating him eventually. But before we continue on, once he's defeated, Cheshire Cat what'll happen is the doorknob will start complaining that you woke him up again. And as he does a big yawn, you will see a glow of another keyhole within his keyhole. Keyholeception, you might say. Your keyblade reacts to it and yanks itself forward, shoots a beam of light into the inner keyhole, and you hear something lock, and that seems to be something important that you're supposed to be doing. Out of that keyhole will fall a weird looking gummy that is called a Navi G piece. For now, you just hold on to it. That will be necessary for later. They'll then say, hey, Cheshire Cat will then say, hey, by the way, if you're looking for Alice, she's not here. You have to go find her somewhere else. So we all go to a save point, because that's apparently an in-universe thing, and you head back to the gummy ship. You now have a third option to go to with a battle level of 3. This will not be our next step, however, but we'll get to that part next time. Before I leave out of here, I do want to go over the Heartless and the other characters we've run into we haven't had a chance to talk about yet. So I'm going to get over here to Jiminy's Journal. There's so much cool information in Jiminy's Journal. You can get chronicles of what happened, the source story up to this point. In fact, well, and Wonderland, which I might read through the Wonderland section when we come back next time. But in characters, you can actually see every character you've run into so far, and you get 2 sets of those. But the main thing I want to touch on here is Heartless, because I do bring up the Heartless every once in a while, which Heartless we've run into so far, and kind of describe them. So yeah, we've already run into the Shadows, the evil black bunnies, and the Soldiers, which are these weird knight-looking Heartless that kind of weirdly dance around. Also in Wonderland, we start running into large bodies. Big, round, Heartless. They seem tame and laid back, but go berserk when they are angered. With their brute strength, they can inflict great damage, so be on your guard. Backing up, I should have read the Shadow one and the Soldier one too, since I didn't do this before. Shadows. They are Heartless that emerge from various places. They sneak up to their enemies and strike them with sharp claws. They are extremely tenacious, often chasing their prey to the end. Soldiers. Heartless that emerge from various places. They are brisk in their movements and rush into their opponents. However, they are not that tenacious. They often appear in numbers, though. They lack teamwork. We also ran into, starting with Wonderland, started running into large bodies. These are big, round, Heartless, but they seem tame and laid back, but go berserk when they are angered. With their brute strength, they can inflict great damage, so be on your guard. And we ran into some red Nocturnes. Spellcasting Heartless. While hovering about, they attack by casting fire, having low HP. They keep their distance from their opponents, making them difficult to attack. And they absorb fire attacks. So yeah, the large bodies are kind of these big fat, they're based on the look of the Soldier Heartless, but they're big fat guys. You kind of have to hit them from the back in order to get any real damage, as the stomachs are pretty much how they guard. So keep that in mind. The red Nocturnes are very easily beaten fire casting Heartless. So yeah. And then I also in this started running into white mushrooms. These are a non-attacking friendly Heartless. They might give you an item if you help them. With the white mushrooms, how you handle them is they will kind of act out an action, and you have to give them the magic that would solve their problem. So if they are acting like if they're holding their hands close and kind of shivering, you want to cast fire on them. If they are acting like they're so hot, cast Blizzard, that sort of thing. Of course, we fought Darkseid and Guard Armor. I'll go ahead and read their things. Darkseid is an enormous Heartless that appear in Destiny Islands with Shadows. It led the Shadows in the battle against Sora when he first received the Keyblade. Although Sora defeated it, the island was swallowed in darkness. And the Guard Armor, leader of the Heartless in Traverse Town, it falls apart when it receives damage, but each part attacks individually. Sora meets Donald and Goofy for the first time before fighting this Heartless. And then we just fought the Trickmaster, a Heartless that Sora and company encountered while they searched for Alice. Its herky-jerky attacks and juggling act flustered Sora and the others. So, yeah, I think that's the last one of those. Next time, we will be heading to one of the most common areas in Kingdom Hearts. I think it's appeared in nearly every game, and this will be its appearance. Of course, we will have to fly to it in the Gummy Ship, and I'm not going to talk about much of the other Gummy Ship ones unless it's like super hard. I'll admit that, but we will have to fly over there, and we'll enter into Olympus Coliseum and see if we can go from zero to hero. So join me next time for that. In previous episodes, I will go ahead and mention this. I did kind of go over the knots at the end of the thing and told you what they kind of were for spoiler effect. I'm not going to do that more. I do want to point out a notch that we did hit tonight, and that was the disappearance of Alice. What happened to Alice? Where did she go? And why would someone want to kidnap her from Wonderland? We'll find that out in this game, but keep an eye out for that. In the meantime, this is Drew, and I'll catch you in the next frame. All right, so now I just have to edit all that together, throw the music in, and I will release it. I've not decided if I'm going to release it in the old RSS feed or if I'm going to move everything to a Podbean connected one. I have to look and see if the Podbean's going to charge me more. But we'll see how that goes. I'm actually thinking this experiment tonight turned out good. I will probably continue doing this next week. But yeah, I am going to find the Twitch people someone to raid. Let's be honest, probably Book of Gaming. I tend to go there more often than not. But thank y'all for joining me tonight. I enjoyed playing with y'all, and I will see y'all later. If I had hit these buttons in the right order, I could have timed this so much better and so much cooler. Oh, I could throw you over to Retro Rewind. They are recording a review on The Fugitive tonight. But no, I'll go to Book of Gaming. All right, talk to y'all later. Start raid. Do, boo, boo, do. Once it lets me raid